Welcome. You're watching the Wild Card Network. I'm here with the head coach, Coach Phillip Rivers. How you doing, Coach?
Maddox.
We had a great first round win this past week against Pike County. Kind of talk about key takeaways from the game and kind of how you thought the team performed.
Well, we started fast. Obviously, first play of the game went for 60-something yard touchdown right out of the gate, untouched. Obviously, great job by the guys up front, and Noah seeing it and hitting it. Wide receivers blocked well as well. And then we hit a little lull in my mind, right? Obviously, we talked about being after victory, right? That means being at our best. So then we give up a kickoff return for a touchdown, but then we settled in. Obviously, defense was playing great. Offensively, we were moving it up and down the field. We had a few close misses, on go balls that we usually hit. The gunner usually hits, but we didn't hit those. But handing the ball to Noah was obviously the ticket for the night. You guys up front were blocking it. He had, whatever he ended up with, 16 or 17 carries for, 350 yards or whatever it was. As a team, we rushed for over 400. It was a good night all the way around. We played good defense for the most part. Again, we gave up a few big plays, but all in all, it was a good night. Good atmosphere at home. Second playoff game we've ever had at home. We had a good crowd, and it was good to advance.
Yes, sir. And let's talk about Noah a little bit. He had a historic night. Broke the state record for rushing yards in a playoff game. Kind of talk about, was that kind of something that you expected going in the game, or was that kind of took you by surprise?
Well, I mean, obviously, you know what he's capable of, so you can't say it surprises you when he makes some of the plays he made. But I think, too, it was how clean some of those runs were. And I'm not taking any credit away from him to try to give it to you guys, but some of those plays were blocked as well as they could be blocked, and certainly helps that you have a back like Noah to be able to run it the way he does. And then he had a couple really, really ridiculous runs, that weren't even necessarily the one touchdown run that he broke a couple tackles, stayed in bounds on the sideline, had a couple other runs that he didn't score on that were awesome runs. So I thought he had a heck of a night, obviously, and it was really he had one touch in the third quarter, one touch. So that's pretty remarkable to think he had that many yards and didn't even play a full game.
Yes, sir. And, it's the first playoff game, and we had the honor of hosting it here at home. Kind of talk about the advantage of having it here at the Nest and at home.
Yeah, well, I think it's huge, and I think you guys, not everybody was a part of that Hanley trip, a few years ago, and certainly we were also, fighting and scrapping to get in. Ended up as a 4 seed, going to a 1 seed in the first round, and Hanley was really good that year. And you go on a 4-hour plus trip, which we got to do this week, but you go on a 4-hour plus trip in the first round of playoffs for 4 playing a 1, you're gonna have your work cut out for you. So I think we realized that. Obviously, we were trying to get a higher seed in that year as well, but I think we all realized the advantage of having a home playoff game. Certainly playing a 4 seed from the region we played was a plus in round 1. Now we got to go to Pleasant Grove, which is a 4-hour trip. We made this trip almost to the day last year this time. So we know how to make this trip. I think last year it was a little uneasy too because we didn't really know where we were going. So now we know where we're going. You guys can picture the stadium pulling in right there with the bus, with the gym right there, and walking across the parking lot to the field. And there's something about that gives you a little comfort. But it's a good Pleasant Grove team that actually didn't have a great start to the season. That's gotten better. They've gotten better as the year's gone. We talk about playing our best football in November, and maybe they are as well. So we have to be on it this week. And we talked about a little carrot. Not that we need one out in front of us, right? But a chance that we know that if we win this game, we're playing another home football game right here in the quarterfinals. That's pretty exciting to me. Other than advancing, should be exciting enough, but you throw that in there as well, and that should get us all fired up.
Yes, sir. And talk about Pleasant Grove a little bit. We played them last year in the playoffs, and we went up there and we kind of shocked the world a little bit. Some people thought we were going to lose that game, and so kind of going up there and beating them. Are you kind of expecting Pleasant Grove to be thinking the same thing? St. Michael's ranked higher than them. Kind of wanting to get us come back up there and them kind of get revenge on us?
Yeah, I think so. I loved our mentality last year, the edge we played with, because it was that underdog mentality, and everybody in the state and was talking about it was Pleasant Grove or Jackson in the South, and nobody really gave us a real shot. I think you guys kind of, not that we care about the outside noise, but we're humans, right? So I think we kind of knew, and we knew what we were up against. That quarterback and receiver and some of those defensive players they had. I mean, they were good, and we had a heck of a game. If some of you guys' favorite game since you've been here. So yeah, this year now we go up there and we've been ranked 1 for the last 6 weeks. And So and we got to come back to their place, So they're going to be all riled up and ready to go. But I think we got, again, all that can only take them so far, right? We got to focus on us, recreate that same edge and mentality, and go up there and play our kind of football and with confidence, but also with respect for the opponent, because they are capable. They have some 2 receivers offensively. They have a good running back. The defensive side of the ball, 9 and 19 at defensive end, are solid. They got some solid linebackers, a big D tackle. They're a good football team. But we are too, and I think we're a year better, and we've shown that. Now it's just a matter of when you get in the postseason, right? It's people say any given Sunday or any given Friday night, right? Any given Friday night, anything can happen. So we got to make sure we're on it from the opening kickoff.
Yes, sir. And talk about it a little bit. What do you think is extremely key and important for the team to focus on this week when going against Pleasant Grove and kind of to perform out on the field?
Well, I think the first part of this whole matchup to me is how do we handle the road trip? I think we've had experience doing this, right? We did it at Pleasant Grove. We did it at Fairfield. We've done it at John Carroll this year. So I think that's a critical element to me with these teams that have long trips. There's some other teams in our area going on long trips. Jackson's going all the way to Handley. I think Bayside's going all the way to Randolph County. So some teams are having to deal with long trips. That is a factor. That is a factor that we got to make sure you leaders and our guys make sure they are approaching the day appropriately. And as the day gets closer and closer, right, we got to get more and more zeroed in. And then when it gets to the game, I know it sounds coach talk, but I guess that's what happens when you've been in it 5 years. When the games get bigger, our world's got to get smaller, and it's alignment, assignment, fundamentals, technique, and effort. I mean, it really is. There's no magic formula for how to win this game. It's doing the things we do well, do them well, trying to be at our best on all 3 phases in the kicking game, defense, and offense.
Yes, sir. And just for a quick second, what are you kind of expecting out of that Jackson-Handley game? Are you going to be kind of looking for that game?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting matchup. I've seen a little bit of Handley, not much at all. Obviously, we know what Jackson is. Obviously, we have a great deal of respect for Jackson. They're an awesome team. We went up there and won a game on any given Friday night. We understand what that team's capable of. Handley is big. The little bit I've seen, they're in the power I and they're pounding it. There's clips I've seen of them running quarterback sneak on 1st and 10. And then they're running lead and power. So I think they're going to probably try to ground and pound Jackson and try to keep their offense on the sideline. We know how tough it is to play at Handley. We also know that that's 2 steps away from us, right? That's two whole steps away from us. So we can't look too far ahead. But we do know the impact that has as we progress, if we progress, right? There's no guarantees. We got to go get it done at Pleasant Grove, or it doesn't matter what happens at Jackson and Handley. But if Jackson continues to advance, W.S. Neal continues to advance, Mobile Christian continues to advance, we know we're at home in any of those games. Handley, it looks like for the most part, if it ends up being Handley, just looking ahead, right? It's okay to dream a little bit, right, about being in another semifinal game. We would go to Handley. I don't see any path where Handley would come here, which is unfortunate. But I don't think any of us would complain if we're in another semifinal game. We'll go wherever they tell us to go, right? Yes. But again, we got to be focused on this week. All those things are fun to look at, right? But it doesn't matter anything but this week. We got to find a way to get it done at Pleasant Grove.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for your time, Coach, and thank you for the viewers for watching. There's a game Friday night, 7:00 on NFHS Network. Make sure to go tune in and watch it. You're watching Wild Cardinal Network. Go Cardinals.